The phone fell out of her purse when she tripped over the rug. Not her usual one. Not the one I called every day. A different phone. Locked. Black case. No notifications. No cracks. Brand new. For a second I thought it was mine. Then I realized. I had never seen it before, and something deep in my chest went cold. My wife, Karen, froze. Not startled. Not confused. Frozen. Like a child caught stealing. "That's not mine," she said too quickly. 22 years of marriage taught me something. When a lie comes fast, it comes prepared. I slowly picked it up. "It fell out of your purse." She swallowed. "It's for work." "You've never had a work phone." She avoided my eyes. "They just gave it to me." "What company gives secret phones?" I asked quietly. Silence. Long, heavy. Then she reached for it. "Please don't go through it." And that was the moment I knew. People who have nothing to hide don't beg. I didn't open it right away. Not because I trusted her. Because I was afraid of what I'd see. We had built a life. 2 kids. Paid-off house. Plans for retirement. Trips we talked about but never took. This was supposed to be the calm part of life. Instead, my heart was pounding like I was 20 again and about to lose everything. That night, after she fell asleep, I took the phone. I sat in the living room with only the lamp on. My hands shook. I tried her birthday. Locked. Our anniversary. Locked. Then something told me to try our son's birthday. It unlocked instantly. My stomach dropped. Messages filled the screen. Hundreds of them. A name at the top. Jay. The first one I opened said, "I miss you already. Today was perfect." My chest burned. I scrolled. Photos. Not inappropriate at first. Coffee cups together. Sunsets. Hotel hallways. Then the ones that broke me. Her in a dress I'd never seen. Her smiling like she used to smile at me. A selfie of a man beside her, his arm around her waist. Not young. Not some fling. A man about my age. Graying hair. Familiar confidence. Someone who had done this before. I kept scrolling. I hate lying to him. He doesn't suspect anything. Soon we won't have to hide. My vision blurred. "How long?" I whispered. Then I saw dates. The first message was from 3 years ago. 3 years. While I cooked dinners. While I rubbed her back when she was tired. While I held her when her mother died. She was living another life. And then I read something that made my blood run cold. "Once the house sells, we can finally start over." My heart slammed. House? We hadn't talked about selling. I scrolled faster. "I talked to the realtor today. He thinks we can get more than we expected." Perfect. That money will give us freedom. My hands trembled. Freedom. From what? From me. From our life. From 22 years. Suddenly the affair wasn't just emotional. It was strategic. Planned. They weren't sneaking around. They were preparing to leave. With everything we built. I sat there until morning, watching the sun rise, reading every message, every lie, every plan, every "I love you" she had sent to someone else. By the time Karen woke up, I wasn't angry. I was calm, dangerously calm. At breakfast, she smiled like nothing was wrong. "Did you sleep okay?" she asked. I nodded. "Great," I said. She relaxed. And that hurt more than the cheating, because it meant lying had become normal. I decided not to confront her. Not yet, because I needed to understand something first. Who was Jay? And how deep did this really go? Later that day, I followed her. Not in anger, in silence. She drove past her office, past the grocery store, past the gym, to a quiet neighborhood on the other side of town, and parked in front of a house I'd never seen before. My heart pounded. The door opened, and the man from the photo stepped out. He kissed her like she belonged to him, and she kissed him back, like I didn't exist. But what I noticed next changed everything, because hanging in his garage was a for sale sign from the same real estate company Karen worked for. My wife wasn't just cheating. She was preparing to sell our house behind my back. And that was only the beginning, because the man she was seeing wasn't who she said he was. Not even close. I stayed in the car for nearly 10 minutes after she went inside his house. My hands were gripping the steering wheel so tightly my fingers hurt. I watched the front door like it might open again and undo what I'd just seen. Didn't. The man's garage door slowly closed. The for sale sign swayed in the breeze. And something inside me finally accepted what my heart already knew. This wasn't an affair. It was a plan. I drove away slowly, forcing myself to breathe. Anger would make mistakes. I needed clarity. If Karen was preparing to sell our house, she couldn't do it alone. Legally, my signature would be required. Unless she had already done something behind my back. That thought made my stomach twist. That night, while she showered, I went back to the second phone. I searched for words like house, sale, closing, documents. Dozens of messages appeared. I scanned his signature from the old refinance paperwork. The realtor thinks we can move fast. Once it closes, he won't realize until it's done. My chest burned. She had scanned my signature. She was planning forgery. I kept reading. We'll wire the money to the new account. He never checks statements. We'll say the bank made a mistake if he notices. My hands shook. This was no longer betrayal. This was theft. Fraud. A slow, careful erasing of my life. I dug deeper. Photos of documents. Contracts. Loan forms. One account number kept appearing. I searched it on our banking app. And there it was. A savings account I had never seen before. Opened 6 months ago. In Karen's name only. With over $140,000 in it. Money slowly moved from our joint account. Bit by bit. So I wouldn't notice. I sat back in the chair, dizzy. While I thought we were saving for retirement, she was building her escape fund. The next morning I called the county records office. My voice trembled as I gave them our address. Yes, the clerk said cheerfully. Your property is currently listed for sale. My heart slammed. Listed? I whispered. Yes, sir. It went active last week. Who authorized it? Your wife signed as agent for both owners. My vision blurred. She can't do that. She submitted a power of attorney, the clerk said. The room spun. A what? Yes, she replied. It appears notarized. I felt sick. Karen had created a fake power of attorney giving herself full control over the house. That meant something terrifying. She wasn't planning to ask. She wasn't planning to negotiate. She was planning to take. I hung up and sat in silence. 22 years of marriage. And she was erasing me like a typo. That afternoon I followed her again. This time I didn't stay back. I parked closer. I watched through the window. Karen and the man, Jay, sat at a kitchen table covered in paperwork. He leaned close, pointed at documents. Smiling, she laughed softly, like they were planning a vacation, not a robbery. I recognized the logo on one page. The title company. This was real. This was happening. Fast. I took photos. Every document I could see. My hands shaking. Evidence. Because suddenly I knew. If I didn't act smart, I wouldn't just lose my wife. I'd lose my home. My savings. My future. That night, Karen kissed me goodnight like always. I love you, she whispered. The lie slid out so easily. I whispered it back. Not because I meant it. Because I needed time. The next day I met with a lawyer. He stared at the photos in silence. Then looked up slowly. This is serious fraud, he said. And if that power of attorney is fake, it's criminal. My heart pounded. Can she sell the house? Not if we stop it fast, he said. But if the sale closes. He didn't finish. He didn't have to. Then he said something that made my stomach drop. Who is the man she's working with? I don't know, I said. Because, the lawyer said quietly, this looks like a professional scheme. My chest tightened. Professional how? People who do this, he said, don't usually do it once. That night I searched the man's face online. I ran his photo through every reverse image tool I could find. First, nothing. Then one match appeared. Different name, different state, same face. My blood ran cold. The article headline read, Local real estate scam targets married homeowners. I clicked it, and there he was, the same man, accused of manipulating spouses into selling homes and disappearing with the money. 3 cases, 2 states, thousands stolen, then vanished. My wife wasn't just cheating. She was being used. Or worse, she was part of it. And suddenly the story became something far darker than heartbreak. Because if this man was a professional con artist, then I wasn't just losing a marriage. I was standing in the middle of a crime. I didn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Karen laughing at that kitchen table, signing papers that would erase my life. By morning, one thing was clear. If I waited, I'd lose everything. But if I moved too fast, I could scare her into finishing the sale immediately. I had to play the long game. I acted normal, made coffee, read the news, kissed her goodbye. Inside, my heart was racing. After she left for work, I drove straight to the title company on the paperwork. I didn't introduce myself as her husband. I said I was a buyer interested in the property. They pulled the file instantly. The closing was scheduled for Friday. 2 days away. My stomach dropped. She submitted a power of attorney, the woman said politely. Yes, I replied. I'm curious how that works. She smiled. It allows her to sign on behalf of both owners. Does it require verification? I asked casually. Not unless someone disputes it. My chest tightened, which meant the house could be gone in 48 hours. That afternoon I called the lawyer again. They're closing Friday. He cursed under his breath. We need an emergency injunction, he said. But we need proof of fraud. I have texts, photos, bank transfers. That's good, he said. But we need something tying her to intent. Intent. That word echoed. I already knew how to get it. That night I finally confronted her. Not with anger, with sadness. I sat beside her on the couch. Karen? I said softly. Are you happy? She looked surprised. Of course. Are you sure? I whispered. She hesitated. Just a second. But it was enough. I feel like we've grown apart, she said carefully. The rehearsed line. Do you love someone else? I asked quietly. She stiffened. No. I took her hand. I just want honesty. Her eyes flickered. Why are you asking this? Because I feel you slipping away. Silence. Then tears filled her eyes. The first real emotion I'd seen in weeks. I didn't mean for this to happen, she whispered. There it was. The crack. I met someone, she said softly. My heart thudded. How long? A year, she said. A lie, but closer to truth. He understands me, she whispered. He makes me feel alive. Does he know about me? I asked gently. She nodded. Does he know about the house? I whispered. Her face went pale. How did you? I squeezed her hand. Karen. Tears spilled. He said it was the only way for us to start over. Not me. Not our marriage. Her and him. He said you'd be fine, she whispered. That you'd land on your feet. The coldness of that nearly broke me. He said the money would give us freedom, she cried. I nodded slowly. And the power of attorney? She froze. I just wanted it to be quick, she whispered. Without me stopping it? She didn't answer, because the answer was yes. Now I had intent. Clear. Recorded. The next morning I went straight back to my lawyer. She admitted everything, I said. He smiled grimly. Good. By noon, the injunction was filed. By afternoon, the sale was frozen. By evening, Karen received the call. She stormed into the house. What did you do? She screamed. I looked up calmly. I saved our home. Her face twisted. You ruined everything. Everything? I asked quietly. Or your escape? She stared at me like I was a stranger. He was counting on that money. There it is, I said softly. Not we were counting on it. He was. She collapsed onto the couch crying. He said he loved me, she sobbed. He said we'd have a new life. I sat beside her. Karen, I whispered. He's done this before. She looked up sharply. What? I showed her the article. Her hands shook reading it. That's not him, she whispered. Look at the photo. She stared. Color drained from her face. That's him, she whispered. The realization hit her like a wave. He lied to me. Yes, I said quietly. Like he lied to others. She started shaking. He's using me. Yes. And the money, she whispered. He wanted it, I said. Not you. Her world collapsed in that moment. Her phone buzzed. A message from him. Why isn't the sale moving forward? She stared at it in terror. Another message came. Did you tell him? Her hands trembled. He knows, she whispered. Karen, I said calmly. This is where it gets dangerous. Because men like him don't walk away when plans fall apart. They pressure. They threaten. They manipulate. That night he showed up at our house. Unannounced. Angry. Pounding on the door. My heart raced. Karen froze. He's here, she whispered. I stood between her and the door. And in that moment, I realized something painful. Despite everything she'd done, I still didn't want her hurt. The knocking grew louder. Karen, he shouted. Open the door. My chest pounded. This was no longer about cheating. This was about survival. The pounding on the door shook the whole house. Karen, he yelled again. I know you're in there. Her face was white. He's never come here before, she whispered. My heart hammered in my chest. Go to the bedroom, I said quietly. Lock the door. What are you going to do? She cried. Buy time. I walked toward the door slowly. The knocking turned into banging. Open the door right now. I took a breath and opened it just a crack. His eyes burned with rage. What the hell is going on? He snapped. The sale stopped, I said calmly. Funny how that happens right when you disappear, he said. Karen's footsteps froze behind me. You told him, he hissed. I saved my house, I said. His jaw tightened. You had no right. No right, I repeated quietly. You were stealing from me. He laughed coldly. You were giving it to us. There is no us, I said. His smile vanished. There was, he said slowly, until you ruined it. He leaned closer. You don't understand how much money was riding on that sale. I understand exactly, I said. You don't walk away from deals like this. Watch me. His eyes flicked past me. Karen, he called softly. Come here. I blocked the doorway. She's not talking to you, he sneered. You think you can protect her? I already am. His voice dropped. You just made things very difficult for both of you. A chill ran through me. That's when Karen appeared behind me. Her voice was shaking but firm. Leave. He turned slowly. You don't mean that. Yes, she said. I do. He stared at her like he didn't recognize her. You were supposed to trust me. I did, she whispered. And you used me. He scoffed. You were happy taking the money. I didn't know what you were, she cried. Now you do, he said coldly. His phone buzzed. He glanced at it, then looked back at us. You think this is over? He said. You just cost me 6 figures. Try millions, I said quietly. That made him pause. What? The sale wasn't the only thing we stopped, I said. Lawyers are involved. Fear flashed briefly in his eyes, but he covered it fast. You're bluffing. Police are next, I added. The word landed. His jaw tightened. He stepped closer. You call the cops, he said softly. And things get messy. My chest tightened. Is that a threat? Call it a warning. Karen gasped. You can't threaten us. He smiled thinly. Watch me. I pulled out my phone, right in front of him, and dialed. His eyes widened. You're making a mistake. The dispatcher answered. I'd like to report fraud and a man threatening my family, I said calmly. He backed up slowly. You don't know who you're dealing with. I'm about to, I said. Sirens echoed in the distance within minutes. His face darkened. You just destroyed your wife's future, he snapped. No, I said quietly. You did. He took off running. Down the street. Into the night. But it was too late. The police arrived. I gave them everything. The messages. The documents. The bank transfers. The fake power of attorney. Karen told them everything too. Between the two of us, it was overwhelming. 2 days later, they arrested him in another county. Turns out he had multiple warrants, multiple victims, multiple fake names. He'd been running scams for over a decade. Karen wasn't the first, just the latest. The relief was heavy, but so was the emotional wreckage, because the man was gone, but the betrayal remained. Karen broke down that night. I ruined everything, she sobbed. I almost lost our home. You almost lost us, I said quietly. She nodded through tears. I thought I was in love. You were manipulated, I said. But you also chose it. That truth hurt both of us. Over the next weeks, the fake power of attorney was voided. The accounts were frozen. The stolen money was returned. The house stayed ours. But our marriage wasn't the same. We started counseling, not to erase what happened, but to understand why. Loneliness, resentment, midlife fear, the feeling of being invisible, all the things she never talked about, until someone else listened. Some days were hopeful, others felt impossible. Trust is slow, pain is patient, but something changed, not because the betrayal disappeared, but because the lies did, and that was the beginning of something honest. Whether it survived or not, time would tell. The house was quiet in a way it had never been before. Not peaceful, empty, like something had broken and hadn't decided whether to heal or die. Karen sat at the kitchen table staring at nothing. I watched the woman I'd spent half my life with look like a stranger. Not because she cheated, because she finally saw the damage of her choices. I don't expect you to forgive me, she said softly. I just need you to know I hate what I became. I leaned against the counter. I loved who you were, I said quietly, and I don't know who this version of you is yet. Tears rolled down her face. I felt invisible, she whispered, like my life was already over. I nodded slowly. I felt the same, I admitted, but I didn't betray you. Silence stretched, painful, honest, necessary. Weeks passed, then months, therapy sessions, long walks, hard conversations. Some days we laughed, some days we cried, some days we didn't speak. But the truth never hid again. The man went to prison, multiple charges, multiple victims, years behind bars. Justice didn't erase pain, but it closed a chapter. Karen quit her job, moved to a different office, cut contact with everything tied to that life. Not because I demanded it, because she needed a clean break. One night, 6 months later, she said, "Do you still love me?" I thought for a long time. I love the life we built, I said. I love our kids. I love the memories. But love after betrayal is different. She nodded. I'll spend the rest of my life earning back what I broke. And that's the truth about forgiveness. It's not a moment. It's 1,000 choices. Every day. A year later, we renewed our vows quietly. Not because everything was perfect. Because we chose honesty over comfort. Not everyone does. Not everyone should. But for us, it was a new beginning. Built on truth, not illusion. Final moral. Betrayal doesn't start in the bedroom. It starts in silence. In unmet needs. In feelings left unspoken. And when someone else listens instead of your partner, that's when destruction begins.